Okay, hi everybody. Thanks very much for tuning in. It's January 2008 and I have Steve Notis here from Investors Group. Steve has joined me today to talk to you about a few different things. First of all, it's an exciting time of year. It's a new year. We have an RRSP deadline looming, which is February 29th. There's also the home buyer's plan. Steve has helped some of my clients create a down payment basically out of thin air, and he's going to talk to you about how he does that. There's also tax deductibility of your mortgage. It was an exciting topic that people want to learn more and more about every day. Steve, tell us a bit about what you do, how you can possibly help some of my clients, and how you help your clients with some of these things that we're talking about.
First of all, thank you, David, for allowing me to come out here and sharing a couple thoughts with your audience. What we do at Investors Group, we're more of a holistic financial planning corporation. We're not from the brokerage types, so we focus in on the client's overall financial picture. And one of the things that obviously when we look at that, we look at the client's cash management skills, i.e. his mortgage. And we start out as how the client acquired the mortgage. Did he utilize the home buyer's plan? Why yeah, why not? And we also look at, in regards to the mortgage, is what type of mortgage is this client into? We look at the amortization period, and no matter what it might be, whether it be a 10-year amortized mortgage or a 40-year amortized mortgage, always begs the question why, and was there a thought process, and was this type of mortgage correct for this client? To first focus in on the home buyer's plan is every single client should utilize the home buyer's plan. I mean, that's a gift coming from Revenue Canada. And even if a client doesn't have money in their RRSP currently, a client can apply for an RRSP loan. And what my company has done is we've structured an RRSP loan that could be a 90-day interest-free. So say that client now come at the end of RRSP season right now, takes out that RRSP loan, they'll file their taxes at the end of April. They're going to get back the refund, and say we did $20,000 each for each spouse, husband and wife, and then a 40% tax bracket. That's $16,000. They're going to get that money back from Revenue Canada. They can turn around and take that RRSP, cash it right back into the bank. They don't owe the bank a dime. They could use that $16,000 as down payment for their home.
So basically what people can do who possibly may not have any down payment or RRSP, they could take an RRSP loan through you. All they need to do is have the RRSP in place for 90 days. Then they could take the money out of the RRSP and under the home buyer's plan, use that for the down payment. So they've essentially created a down payment out of thin air.
Correct. I know it sounds too good to be true, but it's worked for a lot of clients of mine. And I'll tell you something else. As you talked about mortgage deductibility. Now this is something going against the grain of salt. This is not what most Canadians are used to. But it's unfortunate a lot of Canadians make the same mistake and they don't realize what they could do with a mortgage. And it always begs the question, as I started out with what the amortization period is what is the client's goal? A lot of clients I've seen, they're in a rush to pay off the mortgage. And they're all worried about the interest cost, and they want to own their home free and clear. And I always say to them, well, what's your rush? I mean, at the end of the day, so you'll be asset rich, but you're cash poor.
Right.
And here in Canada, yes, we have the luxury that we could, when we sell our home, the principal residence capital gains is tax free. But how many people would, down the road, are they really looking to sell their home in an immediate period of time? Probably not. So what I look at is, in a client's mortgage, can we make that mortgage tax deductible? And what's the best preferred manner? And say, for example, you have a client that has a 20-year amortized mortgage, and I don't know, they're paying whatever, let's say $2,500 a month. If I re-amortize that mortgage up to 40 years or 35 years, whatever that number might be, 30 years, I just lowered that payment, that monthly payment. Mm-hmm. If I take that difference in monthly payment, whether it be $700, $800, whatever that amount is, and I fund an investment loan which is fully tax deductible, well, now I've just taken $700, $800 out of their mortgage that they were doing beforehand and making that tax deductible. All the more so, this is an asset that's growing for them in value.
Right. So what you can do is you could take what somebody is paying currently today, possibly keep the same payments, and by extending the amortization on the mortgage and using the difference, they can create an investment portfolio now, all the while making their mortgage tax deductible.
Absolutely, David. One of the things I always focus in on is keeping the cash flow exactly the same. And sometimes I'll even go to the client and say, well, how about if I do the exact same thing, and I even give you a little break, and I even will lower that cash payment. If you said it before it was $2,500, how about see what I could do with $2,200? Right. And I can still, at the end of the day, I'll put you in that exact same position to pay off the mortgage in 20 years, but it's your choice.
Right.
You'll have a lot of non-registered assets that you could be able to take out at any given point in time and to pay off the home. Or what you do is, the smart thing is, what most of my clients do is they just continue that loan all the way through, and at the end of 30, 35 years, they've accumulated sometimes $1 million in non-registered assets just by doing what they were doing until now.
Right. So I think it's very important that people have a balanced portfolio so that they're not just asset rich and have no investments that they can draw on in case of some kind of emergency in life, or later in life they're going to need some cash resources when they go to retire.
Correct.
Steve, thank you very much for joining me today. I appreciate you sharing all that information, and I will encourage you to call Steve. His number is going to be listed on the side in this descriptor for this video. Thanks a lot, and have a great 2008.